What is going on YouTube? Fascinating graveyard. Today, we are at the Antioch Union Church, Cumberland Presbyterian and Methodist Cemetery here in Crystal, Tennessee. Crystal, Tennessee is about 10 miles from Union City, Tennessee. And you might ask, where is Union City, Tennessee? Well, I'll show a map of where it's at. We're not very far from the border with Missouri. And I am on my way to Missouri because somebody emailed me a very interesting story. About a year and a half ago, they emailed me this story, and now I happen to be going to the place where they told me about this gruesome crime. Now, we are on the way to the grave of a young woman who died way too early, who had a very peculiar, say that word 3 times fast. She had a very peculiar health condition, medical problem, if you will. And that is that basically she slept from the time she was about 8 years old till her death, which was around the age of 32. So for about 24 years, she basically slept her life away. Very, very odd to say the least. Her name is Susan Caroline Goodsey. Now, Susan was born in this area, and from the time she was born to around 8, I believe that, medically speaking, a rather unremarkable life, right? And the stories from back in those days, you never really know what actually happened, right? We don't really know. But it is written online that when she was about 8, she had seen a doctor. When I'm using air quotes when I say doctor, back in those days, a lot of doctors weren't really doctors. They were just quacks selling you whiskey. And maybe she had some form of a medical problem. And so her mother took her to this doctor to cure whatever ailed her. And the doctor, now it's saying that he gave her maybe some chloroform or maybe some kind of medical acid, medical grade acid, something. Who knows? Who knows what was in his briefcase, right? So he gives her some of his product or whatever. And ever since she, as it says online, took whatever drugs he gave her, she was almost in this coma-like induced state. And it's hard to decipher exactly how this took place. But from the time she was 8 until her death, I believe at the age of either 31 or 32, that she basically would sleep. Some reports say that she would sleep for about an hour and then would wake up for 5 or 10 minutes and then go right back to sleep. Sometimes she would sleep for days on end, wake up for an hour or two, go back to sleep. And it was just a very, very weird medical case. P.T. Barnum, the ever-loving businessman that he is, heard about this story, and he offered her mother $1,000 a week to put her on display. $1,000 a week. And the mother said no. She did not want to have her daughter put on some, stage for her to, become a part of his quote unquote freak show or whatever. The mother did take her daughter to various doctors in and around Tennessee, and, they didn't really know what to make of it. She took her daughter to Nashville, and she was in some kind of a medical institution for about a week and a half. And all the doctors would see is that she would wake up for 5 minutes, go back to sleep for an hour, wake up for 5 minutes, and it was like clockwork. And the doctors described her as very pleasant, very nice girl. They said she was very pretty, beautiful, whatever word you want to use. And that she would just, talk, and then they would say, how do you feel? She's like, oh, I feel fine. But other times, and a lot of times when she would wake up, she would get into these really bad convulsions. By the way, this is her grave. And of course, this is a newer grave. They probably replaced the old one. Susan Caroline Goodsey, Obion County Sleeping Beauty. So a lot of times when she would awake, she would go into convulsions and then just go right back to sleep. And they didn't know what to make of it. I don't think nowadays, with modern medicine, I don't even know what they would make of it. She was literally a real life sleeping beauty and very pleasant girl. She wasn't mean spirited or anything like that. Of course, I mean, how could you be mean spirited when you're not really awake? You're sleeping all the time. And something I read online was that the doctor asked her, when you're sleeping, do you have dreams? And she says, no, I don't dream. And I guess that bothered her. But, if you're waking up and then going to sleep for only an hour and then waking up, I think it takes the body. I don't think when you fall asleep, you start dreaming right away. I think it's something that, you got to be asleep for a couple hours. I remember reading that somewhere when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe I'm talking nonsense. But she wouldn't be sleeping long enough to even dream. And I've never read about a story like this in my life. So I just wanted to come over here, tell you about her story, tell you about her grave, show you her grave. And there's I went on newspapers.com and to see if I can find out anything about this story. And I remember reading an article where one of the, whoever was reading the article said that she was a beautiful young lady of very shapely form. And so you know what that would mean today, right? Perverts had a way of really making it seem like when they were being, kind of pervy, like making it seem like it was totally innocent. So she would not eat very much. A lot of times she would just want water. And you would think that a girl that basically never really ate very much would be, sickly skinny. But no, she was very healthy, I guess they would say. So I don't know how she died. I don't believe autopsies were a thing then. I know they were, but I don't think they did an autopsy on her. But then again, I could not find anything online, and you can see somebody left some flowers scattered for her. So anyways, rest in peace to this young lady. Died well before her time, and just a very odd story to say the least. And so rest in peace to Susan. She's buried along with her mother, but her mother does not have a stone, but her mother would be right beside her. I didn't read anything about the father being around. So rest in peace to both. And as we turn around and leave the final resting place of Susan Caroline Goodsey, let me ask you guys a question. I just want to get your opinion. Now, if you had a kid that was afflicted with that same kind of medical condition, and somebody offered you $1,000, which in, I think, today's money would be about $28,000, $30,000. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. So if you could make, $25,000, $30,000 a week just to have your kid, sleep and wake up, and would you do it? Let me tell you this. Don't even ask me if I would do it, because that kid would be on stage sleeping for money. Times were tough back then. Somebody offered me a substantial amount for my child, I probably would do it. But I would work out a way where it wasn't like a daily thing. So with P.T. Barnum, I mean, it wouldn't have been a daily thing because she would have been traveling around the country, but you know, so who knows? But then again, maybe if I'm in that position, maybe I said no. Who knows? Tell me what you would do. Would you display your child for $1,000 a week? In today's money, about $25,000, $30,000. Let me know in the comments below. A very nice cemetery right here. I wish you guys were here to see. It's very lovely here. And as the mosquitoes start attacking me, because the sun is going down, I am making my way towards Missouri. Guys, I will catch up with you on the next video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Peace out.